All right, let's see what's happening in the commodities space now. We see, according to Financial Times, extreme weather events triggered spikes in global agricultural commodity prices. Brazilian coffee, Belgian potatoes, and Canadian yellow peas all rose sharply due to extreme temperatures and flooding. They are also forecasting that this trend will continue into 2022. Well, let's talk to Lawrence Messina, analyst with Financial Derivatives Company. Great to have you, Lawrence.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so how would this affect Nigeria's ambitions to be self-sufficient, in food production, especially the president, saying that we produce what we consume and consume what we produce?
I believe this is a huge setback to Nigeria's ambitions with regarding self-sufficiency in food production. My reason for saying this is largely due to the fact that we're experiencing some large challenges in food production currently, ranging from old farming techniques to lack of investment, lack of research, and then you also have the issue of logistics and increasing cost and lack of storage. But one thing is common to all of these problems. They are all man-made problems which can be solved with proper planning. So when you factor in climatic conditions, which are, as you would call, acts of God, it's way harder to ward off or hedge against this. It's not impossible, but I would say it will take Nigeria a couple steps back in terms of achieving full self-sufficiency in food production.
All right, another issue now, inflation. You see Nigeria's official inflation has maintained a downward trend for 8 consecutive months. FDC is projecting a further fall to about 14.9%. Since some of the key ingredients for food manufacturing are imported, how realistic is it for us to assume that, prices will fall? Or are there doubts about the integrity of the data here?
Well, based on theory, based on expectation, based on analysis, I mean, you would largely say it is highly unrealistic that prices will fall as we go into 2022. And this is largely because of a lot of factors. I mean, current factors like the exchange rate, which in the parallel market is ranging between 560 to 570, that imposes a lot of cost on people that are importing goods into the country. And let's not forget the added cost in terms of tariffs, in terms of logistics, transportation, and also the wastage that goes along with transporting items from one location in the country to another, which is also fueling shortage and price increase. So when you add the climatic conditions that are happening in the international market, and then the impact of the exchange rate as well. So we're seeing two pass-through effects: the exchange rate pass-through effect, and also the inflationary pass-through effect of the foreign market. So, I mean, to see a price decrease in the coming months would be largely unrealistic and optimistic, if I'm being sincere.
Maybe a miracle, maybe, just maybe. Well, considering that subsidy removal is imminent and external, climatic conditions are likely to remain unfavorable, food prices can only trend in one direction, as you said, upward. Is there a way out of this for Nigerians?
Well, it's going to be tough. You could say it's bleak, but it's not impossible. Like I said, climatic conditions, they can be warned off against, but these are long-term projections. I mean, everywhere you see climate goals, they are usually 10 steps ahead, like the Project 2030 or net emissions by 2030. So I believe it's important that we start looking at initiatives to reduce emissions that can stabilize temperatures. But however, this is just a long-term project. In the short and medium term, it's important to actually face the current issues surrounding the agricultural ecosystem, because once these issues are solved, then we can now know that, okay, we're just warding off against climatic conditions. So what do I mean by warding off against agricultural issues in the ecosystem? This is quite simple. Basically, there's the agricultural ecosystem and there's the larger ecosystem, right? So in the agricultural sector, we need to ensure quite a four-pronged approach, in my opinion. we're talking about research. Research gives us an idea of what crops to plant, what's compatible with our soil. It also tells us new practices in farming, cross-pollination that can create resistant varieties. And then we talk about investments and trainings, which will also train these farmers on how to use new equipment and also purchasing this new equipment, and then implementation. All of this just helps the agricultural sector. And then the overall ecosystem, transportation, storage, preservation, they need to work. Once all these issues are solved, then we know that costs will be reduced.
All right, Lawrence, I guess it's the same old problems and solutions. All right, Lawrence, thank you so much. Lawrence is a financial analyst at Financial Derivatives Company. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you.